Welcome to the world of Greek mythology. In this episode, we follow the legendary hero Heracles, also known as Hercules, on his post-labor journey. After his incredible feats, one may wonder what could possibly be next for this demigod. And as fate would have it, news reached Heracles that Eurytus, the king of Oechalia, was offering his beautiful daughter, Iole, as a bride prize to anyone who could beat him and his sons in an archery contest.
An archery contest, you say? Well, that sounds like a challenge worth taking on. I may have faced many trials and tribulations, but my archery skills are not to be underestimated. And a bride prize? I haven't had the best of luck in love, but perhaps this could be the start of a new chapter in my life. I'll certainly give it my all and see where it takes me.
With his reputation preceding him, Heracles could not resist this challenge. It was said that Eurytus was the one who had taught Heracles the art of archery, making this contest even more significant. As Heracles arrived in Oechalia, he was met with a sense of nostalgia and determination. The contest was about to begin, and the stage was set. Heracles stood confidently, ready to display his unmatched strength and skill. As the competition progressed, the atmosphere grew tense with the fierce competition among the contestants. In the end, Heracles emerged as the victor, but what followed was unexpected. Eurytus had a valid reason for refusing to allow Heracles to marry his daughter. He feared that Heracles' well-known temper would lead him to harm his own children, just as he had previously killed his own family in a moment of uncontrollable rage. This outburst was caused by Hera, the queen of the gods, who had manipulated his mind and caused him to commit such a terrible act. The rejection was a crushing blow for Heracles, sparking a dark and vengeful anger within him. This anger led him to commit further violent acts, bringing about a new round of punishment and guilt that he had to face. The story of Heracles is a complex and tragic one, filled with moments of great triumph and moments of terrible darkness. As Heracles left Oechalia, he was filled with disappointment and sadness. However, his troubles were far from over. A few days after Heracles' departure, a notorious thief named Autolycus stole some cattle from a local man. Eurytus immediately suspected Heracles of being the culprit. But Iphytus, Eurytus' only remaining son, believed in Heracles' innocence and set out to visit him in Tiryns. Iphytus attempted to clear Heracles' name by searching for the missing cattle. Iphytus asked Heracles to help him find the cattle, and Heracles agreed to join in the search. While searching for the cattle, Heracles' madness was triggered again by Hera. In some versions of the myth, Hera sent a message to Iphytus that he should loan Heracles his bow and arrows. But when Iphytus refused to lend them, Heracles killed him with the very same weapon. In other versions, Hera caused Heracles to go insane through Iphytus from the walls of Tiryns. After the murder of Iphytus, Heracles was struck by a terrible disease as a result of his violent outburst. Seeking a cure, he embarked on a journey to the oracle at Delphi, hoping that the priestess there would be able to provide guidance. However, his hopes were dashed when the Pythian priestess was unable to provide him with any answers or oracles. Outraged at her unwillingness to help, Heracles lashed out and began tearing the temple apart. In his anger, he even attempted to steal the Delphic tripod, with the intention of establishing his own oracle. The history of the tripod, which was believed to possess prophetic powers, is shrouded in legend and controversy. According to one account, Apollo killed the python, a giant serpent that guarded the oracle of Delphi, and founded the temple at the site either because the python wouldn't let him establish his oracle, being accustomed to giving oracles itself, or because it had persecuted Apollo's mother, Leto, during her pregnancy. The tripod was then placed at the site as a symbol of Apollo's victory over the python, and his ownership of the temple. Heracles' theft of the tripod and disrespectful behavior towards the sacred temple and its priestess only served to compound the list of his crimes and misdeeds. Apollo would not allow Heracles to take the prized tripod from the sacred site, and a struggle for possession ensued between the two. Apollo had the support of his sister, Artemis, while Heracles was supported by his patron, Athena. In the midst of their tug-of-war contest, Zeus intervened in an attempt to resolve the dispute between his sons, and the two half-brothers, Apollo and Heracles. In typical parental fashion, Zeus deemed it necessary to intervene and put an end to the dispute between the two brothers. He hurled one of his powerful thunderbolts between them, forcing them to separate. Finally, Heracles received an oracle that instructed him to atone for his crime by selling himself into slavery for a year and paying Eurytus for his loss. Despite the outcome, the prized tripod remained at Delphi. As a result of his punishment, Heracles was sold to Oechalia, queen of Lydia, and forced to perform women's work for the duration of his servitude.
Father, I accept your punishment. I know that what I did was wrong and I take full responsibility for my actions. I am deeply sorry for the pain and suffering I have caused.
Son, your actions have consequences, and I must uphold justice. However, I also see the remorse in your heart and believe that you can redeem yourself.
Thank you, Father. I will do whatever it takes to make amends for my mistake and prove myself worthy of your forgiveness.
Good. Remember that even the greatest of heroes must face their own faults and overcome them. This is what truly makes one a hero.
I understand, Father. I will work hard to make things right and become the hero that I know I can be.
The story of Heracles and the Delphic tripod. It is a fascinating tale of power, rivalry, and redemption. What do you think about the morality of the story of Heracles and the Delphic tripod? And if you were in Heracles' shoes, what would you have done differently? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.